Hey Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, death. All right, death is not a physical death, so do not be scared of the card. I love the death card. It's change, it's transformation, it's rebirth. It can be a new beginning because it's, or not a new beginning. I mean, yes, a new beginning, but with the same person because again, it is a rebirth, but it's also change and transformation. So I don't hate to say it. I actually like to say it, but sometimes I get some interesting comments about the reconciliation reads. I'm kind of surprised at how many people are like, I never want to get back with that person. Screw him, screw her, they're assholes. And I'm like, then watch the singles read. What are you doing here? But anyways, my whole point with this is the death card kind of makes me excited for the theme of the month because this makes me feel like maybe you guys can transform something. Maybe you guys can come together. Maybe this is a rebirth between the two of you. So we'll see what the cards say, but the death card here for reconciliation read as your theme makes me feel like there are some big changes coming, but this isn't like the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning. This is a rebirth, which makes me feel like there could be a chance of you guys connecting or at least communicating. All right, the first card you have is your current position coming into the month. You have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about balance, it's about change, and it's about priority. So I feel like Sagittarius, one thing you've had to do since you cut this person out, or they cut you out, but I feel a very strong energy that it was probably you that cut them out, is space. You need time. Like there was fighting and arguing and back and forth. And all sorts of, I see like a cyclone, okay? Like in my head, I'm getting this like cyclone, like it's just this vicious circle and you guys keep going round and round. Neither one of you are getting out of it. Nothing is changing. The same fights, the same reoccurring things. And so the Two of Pentacles is kind of like you needed a fucking break. You needed to distance yourself. They needed to distance themselves. It just feels like you needed to figure out what your priorities were. You needed to get your priorities in check and balance yourself out and make some changes within yourself, because whatever you guys were doing on your part, on their part, on both of you together was not working for either one of you. The next card you have, and so I feel like you're kind of like in a really good spot right now, even though it's hard or it's sad or there's heartbreak. This is a good spot because the Two of Pentacles is literally like, okay, I'm working on me, or they're working on themselves, or both, and that's one of the most important things you can do is focus on yourself and make sure you're maintaining your own balance. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month, and you have the Queen of Wands. This person is full of ferocity, very sensuous, high vibration, very just, enthusiastic, very powerful energy. So I feel like even though you guys are not together, I feel like there's a sense of, maybe you're feeling better and better about the possibility that you guys could get together. But more than that, you're feeling it better and better in yourself. So one of the biggest questions that's going to be asked here is, if you guys got back together, would this energy sink? Would this energy die? Or can you maintain that energy, feel good about yourself, feel confident, feel boosted and renewed, and keep this balance that you've been seeking, that you've been, trying to engage and trying to continue? Can you do it if you get back together with this person? Because this is the type of energy you don't want to let go, nor do you want anything to infringe upon. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years, could be throughout your childhood, and you have the Hierophant, which is Taurus cards. You could be dealing with a Taurus, or you could have Taurus placements in your chart. But the Hierophant is let God, let go and let God. Like literally, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in spirit, whatever it is you believe in, the Hierophant is religious. This is a spirituality. This is something higher than you, something bigger than you, something you can't control. And this is from your distant past. So this is telling me that some of you have in the past said, hey, you know what, universe? Hey, you know what, God? I'm going to leave this up to you, and maybe that's what works best for you. This is also a teacher card, kind of a religious card. So again, maybe some of you are going back to your spirituality. Some of you maybe forgot who you were or what you cared about or what was important to you. So it doesn't even have to invoke religion necessarily, but it tells me you're going back to your roots, if that makes sense. Or you're going back to the beginning where, when was I happy? What made me happy? What was important to me? When did I get out of this? For some of you, I feel like maybe you were, maybe you and your partner were starting to be like way codependent, or maybe there were vices involved. Maybe you guys were drinking too much, or maybe there were drugs involved or something like that. Because the Hierophant is telling me like you kind of are cleaning your slate and going back to like fresh energy. And it doesn't even have to be anything like vices. It could just be like you lost yourself somewhere. You lost your health, you lost your energy, you lost your faith, you lost. So the universe is saying gain that back. But you know what, Sagittarius, I already feel like you have the initiative, that's the goal. Like that is the plan. I'm going to balance myself out, gain myself back, and then if we decide to get together, then I'll know whether I can still save myself and keep myself protected and keep myself in a better headspace and more harmonious, or if it's time to cut the cord and say, you know, we're just not good together, we don't lift each other up, we bring each other down. The next card you have is your immediate past. So over the past 2 weeks, past month or so, and you have the Lover. So I don't know if you've been in contact with this person. For some of you, it could be a different energy that came in. Maybe you started dating and that's what kind of flipped your self-esteem, where you're like, hey, you know, I'm feeling more confident, feeling sexy. Like, hey, if you don't want me, somebody else will want me. So right away, I get the energy that not necessarily in cross-watchers, don't freak out. It's not like I'm saying they're out there sleeping around with a bunch of people, but maybe going on a date or maybe just discovering your passion. Now, for some of you, this is you guys had contact. Maybe you got back together for a little bit. Maybe you guys got a little nookie. I don't know. But the Lover's card is definitely a duality. It's a passion. It's love. This may just represent the fact that you guys still have the passion, that you still have to love for each other. Even if you're not in communication, even if you're not talking, that passion hasn't completely died. And both of you know it. So I feel like there's a few different scenarios here, but I think the most opportunistic is the fact that there is still some sort of passion here. There is still some sort of duality that you guys, that connection is still extremely strong. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Four of Cups. Now the Four of Cups, we'll clarify that as we normally do, but the Four of Cups is a wasted feeling, an apathy, a taking for granted type feeling. So when you get the Four of Cups, this is like you feel like you're putting time and energy into something that's just not working. So, you know, this makes me feel, Sagittarius, like you may be going up and down, around and around, back and forth. Like 1 minute you think, hey, we're going to be back together or things are going to be good. And the next minute you're kind of like, why am I wasting my time on this? So we'll clarify that, because I don't necessarily think it's negative or that it means that you guys won't get back together. I just feel like there may be some work that needs to be done so that you don't keep running circles in the same direction, that you don't keep ending up in the same, you know, it's insanity. Definition of insanity. Continuing to do the same thing, expecting a different outcome. Some changes have to be made for this to really take flight. And the next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the next few weeks. It's your immediate future. And you have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a burden, it's a responsibility, and it's a completion. So I feel like there are things that have burdened you in your own life that maybe have pressed into this, you know, X situation, or in theirs. Like there's definitely some sort of burden that you need to release, or they need to release, in order to, if you guys were to come back together and try and make this work, or were to come back together and try and see eye to eye, there's definitely big changes that need to be made. Now, I feel like there's a completion here. Like maybe some of you were dating somebody who was like getting a divorce and the divorce wasn't final, and now it is. Or some of you, you know, you guys were supposed to be moving in. There's something here where it's like, there's something unfinished here with this person. Maybe it's a third party situation. There's definitely some sort of burden that's weighed on both of you. Now, it could be the completion. It could be something that is unfinished between the two of you, as far as, you know, maybe there were things like maybe you live together, or maybe you have kids together, and there's something that you know, that you guys need to like figure out, are we going to get back together or are we not? Because we have a responsibility here. You know, we owe the kids an explanation. Maybe it was a combined family. You know, you owe my child an explanation, or I owe your child an explanation. There's something here that it's a responsibility factor that's weighing heavily on you or them or both, that needs to be like, the decision needs to be made because it needs to be completed. Like you're leaving people hanging, or you're not making decisions, or there's some sort of financial responsibility together. But anyways, this month you're going to have a lot of thinking to do, because you're going to realize that this breakup doesn't just weigh on you two. There's other people, there could be pets involved. There could be, again, financial responsibilities. The next card you have is anything tangible throughout the month. It could be the beginning, middle, end. It could last for a day, a month. You have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is reminiscing. This to me is a very good sign that you guys would get back together, because the Six of Cups is a nostalgia type energy. It's remembering the good. Like I said with the Lovers card, with this passion here, I feel like if it's not that you went on a date with somebody else, or not that you're, or you know, didn't hook up with your ex and, you know, have a rebound, like, you know, you guys got back together, but it was more of a lust thing. Like I said, for majority of you, I think it's the passion is still there and you know it. And that ties into the Six of Cups very well, because the Six of Cups is, again, that reminiscent, nostalgic, we care about each other. We have a history together, and that history is important to both of us. So I just don't know that you're ready for that story to end right now. The next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the month. You have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is confusion. It's self-imprisonment. I love this card because I always use the same example. Like, this person could walk in the house and go out the front door, but instead she's hanging herself over these swords. Nobody's holding her there. There isn't somebody with a gun to her head. There isn't somebody pushing her. She's deciding not to. Like I always say in this card, put some damn clothes on before you go outside, right? But at the same time, like, all kidding aside, this is self-imprisonment. I feel like you or them or both are kind of like, we love each other, we care about each other, we know the connection's still there, we know it's not finished, we know the story's not ending, but we're not saying anything. Because then you have this moon sitting there, and that moon is, you know, shady Pisces. I love Pisces, don't get me wrong, but like, the moon literally is Pisces card, and there's some shadiness behind that card. There's some like secrets, some mystery. So like, it's not that either of you are being shady. It's just neither one of you wants to make the first move, or neither one of you wants to be the one to be like, you know, I'll eat the piece of humble pie this time. Or, you know, like, this literally is just like confusion. It's illusion. It's like, you know what you want. I feel like they know what they want. So what are you waiting for? But put a shirt on first. The next card you have is your hopes and fears for the outcome. Now, there may have been some deceit, because you have the Three of Pentacles, which, if you were looking at this from a fear perspective, it would be that you're worried about a third-party situation. Maybe there were some trust issues. Maybe they're still in a third-party situation. You know, maybe this is a married man or woman. But so if you were looking at this from a fear perspective, that would be that. However, if you look at this from the positive, like this is your hope perspective, this is coming together. This is, you know, teamwork, accomplishing things together, a partnership, a growth in a partnership. And it kind of ties in here with me thinking that one or both of you have kids, or you were planning on having kids, or you have fur babies or something, because I feel like this is kind of like a family affair. And you're kind of like, not only do we care about each other, but we have family and people that care about us and that we care about, and they deserve an answer, and they want to know, you know, what's going on. They deserve, you know, some sort of either we're going to get back together or some sort of closure. The next card you have is your outcome for the month. And you have the Sun. The Sun is beautiful. The Sun is inspirational. It's hope. It's self-awareness. It's the fog is lifted. I can see clearly now. I feel like you'll both be able to come together in a perspective of, what do you want? What do I want? I can see clearly what I want. I know what you want. So what are we doing? Like, I know what you want. Sorry, like 4 cards just slipped at the same time. I know what you want. You know what I want. Can we come together on this? Can we compromise and, whoa, and take another stab at it? Holy crap. Like the whole deck flew out. And take another stab at it. Because, again, the Sun is like, here's what I want clearly. And, you know, can we get there, and can we get there together? And those two people dancing under the sun makes me feel like, you know, your story hasn't ended. You still have more to learn from each other, and so there's a good possibility that it will come, that it's coming. Now, you have the King of Wands that's clarifying this, which is an attraction. There's a magnetism about the King. So I feel like you guys still are drawn to each other. There's a high moral ground between you guys. I can't explain it. There really is just a high moral, like, you have respect for each other. And some of you are going to be like, oh, shut up, I don't, like, can't stand him or her. Then, you know, that's your deal. But I feel like you're past, a lot of you are past the, like, I hate your gut stage, or I'm pissed at you, or I'll never forgive you stage. I feel like you're holding yourself at a higher moral standard, and you're trying to be the best person you can be, and you're recognizing that you still do, you know, have faith in this person or believe in this person. Now, you have the Eight of Swords here. You also have it here. So 8's may be a number that you want to watch out for. Maybe the 8th of the month, 8 days, 8 weeks, etc. But again, you have this self-imprisonment. I feel like you're keeping yourself in this situation where you care about them and you know, and but you're not either you're not ready to progress, you're feeling insecure, there was something that was done to kind of, you know, help push you into that insecurity. Because the Eight of Swords is kind of like you're binding yourself from the situation because there's worries, because there's fears, because there's confusion, because you love this person, but maybe you're like still bamboozled by their behaviors or things that happen, and so you're having a hard time breaking free from those, you know, tough feelings, from those insecurities. Now I pulled another clarifier just to see what that's about, and you have the High Priestess, which is kind of like only time will tell. This is very similar to the Hierophant and the fact that they're very spiritual, very higher power cards. This is saying, you know, the universe has your back, and if it's meant to be, it will. So I think that the best thing you can do, Sagittarius, is throw it up. Throw it up and say, universe, God, you know, spirit, whatever you believe in here, here, I give this to you. I'm going to keep myself balanced. I'm going to keep changing and transforming, you know, maybe health-wise or just mental health-wise or whatever it is. I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm gonna keep building myself up into this king status of being the best person I can, being enthusiastic, having good energy, good vibes. And then, you know what? If we're meant to be, I'm here. I kind of feel like that's how you are. Like, you're needing this person to kind of come forth, and cross watchers, you can say it's opposite, and that's fine. But I'm kind of feeling, Sag, like you need them to come forth. You need them to come hither, because you need to see them put the effort in and muster the strength to make the move, to make this right, in order to take that leap of faith. And I honestly feel like unless they do that, unless they come forward, unless they can really truly show you what you need to see and put the effort in to make things right, you'll keep on moving and grooving and being the best Sag that you can and focus on you.